Hello YouTube, Akai again, back with a new video from the home studio. So Akai just announced their brand new MPC One and I've got it right here.
Accurate beats.
So first of all, it's kind of hard to make a video on the MPC One without mentioning the MPC Live or the Akai Force. You see, the MPC One is a standalone unit and it's able to function fully without being connected to a computer. It runs the entire MPC software natively in the box. Hey, sorry to interrupt, but I'm editing the video now, realizing that I never mentioned the price point of the MPC One at all. So the manufacturer's suggested retail price for this one will be 749.99 euros, which makes it a bit cheaper than the MPC Live. So I think this is Akai's way to aim for the more entry-level producer who's looking to get into the MPC kind of workflow and get a standalone device to make beats on. So I think that's it. Just wanted to let you know. Let's get back to the videos. But you also have the option to connect a Mac or PC over the USB 2 connection in the back, and that way use your MPC One as a controller for the software. However though, I guess I'm enjoying myself more when I make beats without having to rely too much on the computer with the mouse and keyboard. So I guess I'm gonna use the MPC One as a standalone unit like 99% of the times. And I think that's where this one really shines as well, using it standalone. Compared to the MPC Live, the one is smaller and lighter and it doesn't have the built-in battery, so it always needs to be connected to some sort of power source in order to function. And also the drum pads are a little bit smaller than on the Live, so that took me like 10 minutes to get used to, so that's not a big issue. It's also kind of smaller on the inside with a 4GB SSD where half of it is the user data and half of it is the pre-installed content that it comes with. And the MPC One doesn't allow you to install a normal SSD drive into the unit as you could do on the MPC Live for expanding the storage. And that's where the SD card reader in the front and the USB connection in the back, which is compatible with thumb drives and stuff, comes in really nicely and makes it easy for you to add more samples to your MPC. So I've had it for like a week now, so it's still kind of new to me, but the first thing that I noticed when I unboxed it is that it has a bunch of dedicated buttons on the hardware unit itself. That's one of the few things I felt was missing a little bit on the MPC Live that was making the workflow that I have with my beats a little bit slower, but we're talking hard plastic buttons that sounds like that when you press them, so that's very satisfying and it gives me a nice tactile feedback of actually doing something when I'm changing from one page to another. All the white buttons helps me navigate through the MPC software way faster than before, and all of the buttons also has a secondary function that you can access by just holding shift and press them or double tap them like that and you get the secondary function. So say that I'm on my step sequencer for some reason and I need to go into my sample edit page. It's just one single click away. Or maybe I want to go into the track mixer or the pad mixer. I just double tap that one. Well, maybe that doesn't sound like too much in itself like that, but to me that translates to the overall workflow of the unit being a little bit better and quicker than what I get from the MPC Live. Now, you still have to use the touchscreen a little bit on this one, and I can't say that I have much against that, but just being able to apply muscle memory and learn that this button takes me to this menu all of the times when I press it, it's just satisfying and becomes second nature. The inside of the MPC One is exactly the same as on the MPC Live. It runs the same software and it works in the same way. So the sample editing, the chopping, the sequencing, the effects, everything is exactly the same. It's just that I really enjoy having hardware buttons with the tactile feedback on my musical instruments. The drum pads on the MPC One are velocity sensitive and also sensitive to pressure, which comes in nicely when you do note repeats like. When it comes to connectivity, the MPC One doesn't have Wi-Fi or Bluetooth like the MPC Live. I made a video once where I connected the Live to my iPhone and I had them sync up wirelessly over Ableton Link. That's not an option here, but instead the MPC One comes with an Ethernet port in the back that is supposed to give you some of those functions back, even though I kinda have to dig deeper to understand exactly how. So let's turn it around and take a look at the back of it, where we can find the power button and the power input, as well as the Ethernet port that I just mentioned. We have a single USB-A port for connecting a MIDI keyboard or a thumb drive, and then there's the USB connection for hooking up to the computer as well. And this is USB 2, by the way. Then there's the Kensington lock thing, followed by MIDI in and out, 4 different CV gate connections, a knob for controlling the input volume, the left and right input, the main outputs, and finally a knob for the main volume. On the front of the unit we have the headphone output and the SD card reader. So obviously the inputs and outputs here aren't really comparable to what you get from the MPC Live. The MPC Live just has more of everything. But for my use case here in my home studio and how I plan to use the MPC One, I can't really see that becoming a problem. But of course that depends on who you are and how you plan to use it. So when you buy the MPC One, it actually comes with a bunch of different kits and instruments and sounds and stuff that you can use right off the bat. And I think we should just take a listen to some of those sounds. I don't want to come off as this person who now hates the MPC Live and favors the MPC One in all ways possible, because that's not true. I love the MPC Live and I think that's a beast of a device. I really do. But this one is the new one and it's really compelling to me to have these dedicated buttons on the unit to make the workflow a little bit faster and better. Workflow is kind of everything. If it's not fun to make music, I'm just gonna stop making music or not being inspired anymore. And to me right now, the MPC One feels like the MPC that inspires me the most. So I guess time will tell how much I use the MPC One compared to the MPC Live, but right now I'm definitely leaning towards the MPC One. So I've shared how it sounds and how it looks and how I kind of feel about it, and I guess that pretty much wraps this video up. My plan here is to post another video on this channel in like a week or so and actually put the MPC One through the test of a proper beatmaking session. So stay subscribing on the channel for that, and make sure to leave any questions or comments you might have about this in the comment section below, and I'm gonna do my absolute best to go in there and reply to as many comments as possible. Feel free to put a like on this video if you liked it and share it with someone else who might be interested in the MPC One, who knows. And thanks a lot for watching. I hope to see you guys in the next one. Until then, ha det gott!
Accurate beats.
Yo, 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 yo. Rockin' the beat. Rockin' the beat.